Angela Rayner is in hot water after this morning reveal, and let's put it this way, it's not looking good for her. Yes, Starmer and the Labour Party have come under fire last week as it emerged at just the amount of freebies they were receiving. They have come out and saying they wouldn't do it again. However, Angela Rayner is now being investigated over the use of a £2 million apartment lent by Lord Ali. Let's dive into the details, all whilst going over all of the latest news from up and down the country. But first, hit the like and subscribe button and join our fast-growing community. Angela Rayner is facing an investigation over the use of a $2.5 million New York apartment lent by Labour peer Lord Ali. The Conservatives have written to the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner, Daniel Greenberg, to request an investigation into the Deputy Prime Minister. In the letter, the Tories accuse the MP for Ashton-under-Lyne of failing to properly register the New York flat donation. Thus, the House of Commons Code of Conduct may have been breached. Rayner argued the trip was a personal holiday has denied any breach of parliamentary rules. Lord Ali is not accused of any wrongdoing. According to the rules, MPs must declare foreign trips, which they, or anyone connected to them, undertake if a donor pays for part or all of it as a result of parliamentary or political activities. Rayner told the BBC, "I think I followed the rules." Addressing the backlash, she added, "I get that people are frustrated, in particular the circumstances that we're in, but donations for gifts and hospitality and monetary donations have been a feature of our politics for a very long time. People can look it up and see what people have had donations for, and the transparency is really important." The Deputy PM also dismissed claims she had less sway than hoped in the Labour government, saying the idea she was being pushed to one side was nonsense. Meanwhile, an SNP MP has described the Labour frontbench's acceptance of thousands of pounds worth of free gifts, including clothing from Lord Ali, as totally indefensible. Angus and Perthshire Glens MP Dave Dugan told BBC Radio Scotland, "I think I, like most other ordinary people from ordinary backgrounds, are aghast at the naivety of UK government ministers, leaving themselves open to whatever the donors of these gifts expect in return. If something looks too good to be true, then it probably is. Everybody knows that. I think we need to ask ourselves why the most senior members of the UK government are naively walking into gifts for this and gifts for that, totalling £800,000, and thinking that there is no strings attached. Of course there are strings attached. It's such a bad look. Let's be really clear, Angela Rayner in particular, and Keir Starmer especially, these are not poor people. Chancellor Rachel Reeves has said a taxpayer-funded photographer was hired to support Rayner's department, not the Deputy Prime Minister herself as a politician. Reeves was asked by the BBC whether the hire was a waste of public money. She said, "We have committed to reducing the size of the government communications budget, but all government departments have media officers and photographers. Not for individual politicians, but to support the policy work, the campaigning work, the initiatives of government departments, to help government departments do their jobs. This is not to support Angela Rayner as a Labour Party politician. This is to support the Ministry for Housing, Communities and Local Government." In other news, almost half the total number of small boat migrants who have crossed the English Channel this year have arrived in the 11 weeks since Labour came to power, we can exclusively reveal. The revelation comes as the number making the illegal crossing from France has reached another sobering milestone. Reports counted more than 1,400 small boat migrants as they arrived in Dover Harbour over the weekend, taking the total since the beginning of the year to 25,000. 11,500 have now crossed in the space of just 2.5 months since Labour won the general election. The latest total is more than 1,000 ahead of the number of small boat migrants who arrived illegally in UK waters at this point last year. The milestone figure is also just over 4,000 away from surpassing the grim tally of 29,437 reached by the end of 2023. Despite heavy thunderstorms and blustery conditions in the Channel over the weekend, 707 migrants arrived in 11 small boats on Saturday. On Sunday, it was counted more than 700 others, mainly young men, as they were taken to the Border Force Migrant Processing Centre at Dover Harbour. One senior maritime security source said that people smuggling gangs were taking increasing risks in pushing migrant boats out into the English Channel before conditions deteriorate over the winter months. Already this year, 47 migrants have died in multiple small boat tragedies. Just over a week ago, 8 migrants lost their lives when their small boat got into difficulties and came apart on rocks in the Pas de Calais. Less than a fortnight before that tragedy, 12 migrants died in the worst loss of life since a mid-channel sinking in 2021 led to the deaths of 27 migrants. The security source said, "It's clear people smuggling gangs are prepared to push the limits with these already flimsy boats. This year, we've had close to 50 deaths, and we're not even into the most dangerous months. But what we're seeing now is criminal gangs trying to take advantage of any half-chance to launch boats. And that means boats are entering the water when conditions are right on the limit of what's passable. It's extremely dangerous." Keir Starmer has vowed to smash the gangs as part of a shift in focus on how best to end small boat crossings. At the weekend, more than 30 people were arrested across the UK in a Home Office crackdown against people smugglers. Immigration enforcement teams worked with the National Crime Agency, UK police forces, and international partners to detain 31 suspects in various locations, including Belfast, Liverpool and Luton, as part of a 3-day operation. Minister for Border Security and Asylum, Dame Angela Eagle, said, "This government will not stand by as criminal gangs exploit vulnerable people, risking their lives and giving them false hopes of a better life in the UK. We are taking the fight to them on all fronts, under the leadership of our new Border Security Commander." But with small boat crossings still running ahead of last year's figures and showing no signs of slowing down, any effort to dismantle the cross-channel people smuggling trade will inevitably have to be a long-term endeavour. Lastly, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's will continue to spend time apart as the Duke of Sussex works in New York and London. The royal is set to embark on a series of solo appearances in New York this week. Harry will kick off a week of high-profile events in New York today, including appearances with an African conservation group and a youth charity named after his late mother, Princess Diana. He is also scheduled to meet with the Halo Trust, a landmine charity close to Diana's heart. These engagements come after Harry recently attended a charity event in California alone, as Meghan pulled out at the last minute due to illness. Royal expert Phil Dampier commented on Harry's recent solo activities, saying, "It is significant that he is doing so much on his own now. They are living more separate lives as it looks like Harry is trying to carve out what exactly his future is." Dampier told The Sun, "I suspect Harry has been feeling very much like a spare part. He wants more fulfilling roles for himself, so we may well be seeing more of him here." Harry's solo appearances extend beyond New York as next Monday he is scheduled to host the Wellchild Awards in London, marking another significant event without Meghan by his side. The Duchess of Sussex has not travelled to the UK since attending Queen Elizabeth II's funeral in September 2022. This follows Harry's recent solo trip to England, where he attended a memorial service for his uncle, Lord Robert Fellows. These separate engagements have become more frequent, with the usually inseparable pair spending time apart since Harry's 40th birthday celebrations earlier this month. In a statement released ahead of his birthday, Harry notably focused on his children, describing Archie and Lilibet as kind and funny. The statement made no mention of Meghan. As the Duke carves out a more independent public role, speculation on how this might impact their joint ventures continues. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.